and gentlemen, when it is Tuesday, it's the Raw Leadership Talk. I'm glad to connect with you this evening again, bringing you the power of communication skills. Part 2 on this show tonight. Where are you watching us from? We're glad to connect with you, to hear from you. My name is Mugera, your coach. To speak up, and I'm so fired up to connect with you, bringing you part 2 of the power of communication. This week, this month. Baradai Mundui, thank you for watching. You say following from Mombasa, Kenya. Thank you very much. Where are you watching us from? In a moment, we'll begin the Raw Leadership Talk. Thank you very much. Last week, I began a series on the power of communication skills. On this Raw Leadership Talk, which is brought to you by the African Center for Public right here in Nairobi, Kenya. And I spoke about communication strategies that will enable you to gain power. And at the same time, show the truth. Anytime you get an opportunity to speak, it's not just what you say, but when you say it. And it's important you to understand the power of timing, that timing enhances communication. So you need to ask yourself, who is my audience? What are the questions and needs right now? It is important for you to understand your audience if you're going to speak to your audience in an effective manner. You cannot probably go to speak to a group of people without knowing something about them. So who is your audience? Ask yourself, who is your audience? And what are the questions that need right now? That, to a great extent, gives you the opportunity to prepare a message that is relevant to these people that you're going to speak to. And then what needs to be accomplished the most? What needs to be accomplished the most? If you can get to understand that in your speech, your overall speech, what exactly are you looking forward to accomplish, that will position you to prioritize your message in the best way possible so that you can communicate effectively with your audience. What needs to be accomplished the most? And then what is the answer to their questions and needs? Every time you speak to a group of people, they do have questions, they do have needs, but do you have the answer to their questions and needs? You cannot probably influence people effectively if you do not know their needs and you don't have answers to their questions and needs. But also the most important thing that you need to know is, are they ready to receive it? And how do I connect and get response? Every time I stand before a group of people that I'm communicating a message to them, I ask myself this question: how do I connect and get response? How do I connect and get response? Every time you speak, your audience is quietly asking, why should I listen to you? Why should I listen to you? That is the question people ask themselves. They don't shout the question. They will never raise their hands up and ask you the question. But you know what? They ask themselves, why should I listen to you? Can I trust you? Do you know your subject? Do you care for me? John Maxwell says this, and I like it. He says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Listen to me. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so it's important for you to care for the people you're speaking to. I hear some speakers sometimes when they're sharing a message say, I don't care what you think. I don't care what you feel. No, you need to care how people think. You need to care how people feel if you're going to develop or you're going to deliver a great speech. And so it's important for you to seize the moment and be able to communicate effectively by following what I've shared with you so that your message can be effective. But that's not the only thing. You need to understand the truth and share the truth, the most important part of your message, the prime part of your message, the heart of your message. Every speech has what I call the prime part of the message, the prime part of the speech. And you need to come out and share it with confidence. No, you could go somewhere, sometimes, and you're given like 30 minutes to speak. But then in those 30 minutes, what exactly are you sharing? And what is the heart of your message? If you can't share the heart of your message in 1 minute, then even if you're given 30 minutes, you won't be effective. And so it is important for you to understand the heart of your message. It is not just what you say, but how you show it. All great leaders must endeavor to model what they communicate and expect others to do so. You have an opportunity every time you stand before people to communicate your message and show the truth, the art of your message that will indeed influence people to move in the direction that you want. I said I've had the opportunity to coach over 2,000 people. And I remember one time I was invited by the ambassador of Kenya in the United States of America, Washington, D.C., to address the embassy staff. And I remember I was trying to think, what am I going to speak to the embassy staff? What will be my message? Then here comes the letter from the ambassador that had a specific thing that the ambassador wanted me to talk about. And that was mental health. Mental health. And so I planned to speak about something else completely. But I had to now understand that if the leader of the embassy, the ambassador himself, has instructed me or requested me to speak about mental health, he knows the needs of his people. And so I had to prepare a message underscoring the heart of the message, which was mental health and how people can take care of themselves to avoid succumbing to mental health challenges. As a speaker, you have a responsibility to address people and meet their needs through your message. When you are speaking to people and all that you are speaking to them about does not connect with what they are going through, then you will not be able to connect with them and influence them in the right way. So it's important for you to seize the moment, but at the same time, it is very, very important for you to show the truth. It is very, very important for you to show the truth. The next point I'm going to share with you that is very important is share the passion. Share the passion. It's not just what you say, but why you say it. Why do you say what you say? And so in your preparation, you really need to understand that what you're going to say, you need to have a reason for why you are saying what you're going to say. You know, sometimes you could have a lot of content, but when you stand before people and you don't have a reason why you say what you're going to say, then that's where a lot of people lose it big time. You and me have a responsibility whenever we stand before people to understand what we are going to say and why we are saying it. So sharing the passion is about you. Passion is the drive, my brother. Passion is the drive, my sister. Nelson Mandela says there's no passion to be found playing small in living a life less than the one that you're capable of living. And I like changing this particular quote this way. There is no passion to be found doing small speeches when you are capable of doing great speeches. When you are capable of doing great speeches, there is no passion at all to be found doing small speeches. Let me tell you this. There are no boring subjects, only boring speakers. Did you get that? There are no boring subjects, only boring speakers. There are no boring subjects, only boring speakers. There are no small audiences, only small speakers. You know, if you say, you know, I only had an opportunity to speak to 10 people, and that's why I was not coming out very, very strong. Look, that's not the problem. The problem is you are small, and that's why you did not make an impact. A great speaker will speak to 10 people or 5 people in such an effective way. And so when he's given more people, 100, 1,000, 1,000,000, he will still address them accordingly. If you are interested in your audience will always be interested in you. And I've come to realize this. I've had the opportunity to speak all over the world, you know. I've had the opportunity to speak in Europe, I've had the opportunity to speak in the US, I've had the opportunity to speak in African countries, in India. And I will tell you this, if you are interested in your audience will always be interested in you. Your audience will always be interested in you. If you're interested in your audience will always be interested in you. But let me tell you this. There are facts that will enable you to prepare accordingly if you're going to deliver a speech with passion. If you're going to share passion, then there are facts for preparation. And most people don't take this very seriously. And you wonder why you don't come out strongly to deliver great speeches. Preparation is not about setting down some mechanical sentences on paper and then, memorizing of phrases. For you to prepare very well, you need to make sure you dig something out of yourself. In your life so far, you have experiences, you have knowledge, you have information. Dig something out of yourself whenever you have an opportunity to communicate to people. And then assemble and arrange your own thoughts. Assemble and arrange your own thoughts, and then cherish and nurture your own conviction. Look, you need to cherish and nurture your own conviction if you're going to come out and influence the world. I have witnessed a lot of speakers, but most of the time people do not cherish and nurture their own convictions. What do I mean when I talk about conviction? I'm talking about your beliefs, your values, and your principle. You need to cherish this. Great speakers all over the world, they do cherish their conviction. They do cherish their values. They cherish their beliefs. They cherish their principles. And whenever they stand before people, with all the content that they share, their beliefs, their conviction, their values and their principles come out. They do not fear to share what they believe. They do not fear to share what they value. They do not fear to share their principles. When you find people that fears to share their beliefs, their conviction, their values and their principle, this is their convictions, then they will not come out with a lot of passion, because passion becomes a drive that comes from within you. That energy that you have when you stand before people to communicate a message is as a result of the convictions that drive you in your life every day. And so I will encourage you in your preparation to really find out, what are you convicted about? What are your convictions? What are your beliefs, your values, your principles? And then cherish these things, even as you assemble and arrange your own thoughts and dig something out of you. There's always something in you. If you are very keen, there is always something in you that you want to share with the world. Do not underestimate it. It could be a business idea. It could be something that you feel people need to know. It could be a burden that you've been having. It could be a trauma that you went through and you overcame. And there's somebody else that is going through the same and you feel you could be of help. It could be your perspective about parenting. It could be an idea about how a particular food needs to be cooked. It could be a leadership principle. It could be something you hate and you feel people need to stop. Do not hesitate to share your message with the world. Do not hesitate to share your message with the world. Viral Vids, you say, I am watching. Thank you very much for tuning in via YouTube. Deb Devi, Botswana, you say you're watching. Christo Kizito, say tuned in. Thank you very much. And Martin Ochieng, you say very impressive, tuned in from Hargeisa, Somaliland. Thank you very much for tuning in. And all those who are watching, I'm glad you are here with me today. We are currently doing an intake for the April class that we call the Professional Speakers Course. This is an in-person course, a 5 weeks course that takes place Monday to Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m. at our coaching lab here at the Africa Center for Public Speaking in Nairobi. And you know what? You can call us through those numbers that are passing through your screen. You can send us an email through info@publicspeakingtc.org. You can visit our website and get to know the courses that we offer. And we'll be glad to connect with you. But I also encourage you to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can also be able to watch this and share with your friends. Every time you're part of the Raw Leadership Talk, you can share with your friends so that they can benefit from these nuggets that we keep sharing every day. Thank you very much. And next week we'll be winding up this series. I'll be glad to connect with you. My name is Dan Mugera, and I'm your coach. I'm your speaker. May God bless you.